guys, hope you're all having a good day so far. Welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute since I've been here, but today I wanted to sit down and chat with you as we have Black Friday and Cyber Week approaching us and just kind of focus in on good spending, bad spending, credit repair, all of that financial good stuff that really makes the world go round. Your credit is a huge element of how you're able to spend money in this world. So I do think there is a lot of importance there. This video is in partnership and collaboration with Lexington Law. I'm gonna link my blog post where I really dove into the specifics of my credit history, and I'm gonna give you a little bit more of that here now because I really do want to just chat with you guys over some coffee or tea, whatever you're drinking right now. I am currently in 24-hour fast. It's 2 o'clock, so I have about 4 more hours left in the fast. So I may just go for another cup of coffee. I've really been rolling off of coffee today. Maybe I should have tea that's decaffeinated. Maybe I'll do decaf coffee. Yeah, because I've been having some trouble sleeping. I think I'm overdoing it on the coffee. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's just jump into my personal financial story, I would call it. So back when I was 17, 18, I had saved up a bunch of money, and right when I turned 18, I actually moved out of my parents' home. And this was when I was still a senior in high school. So I wanted to get a little taste of living on my own before moving to college. And I ended up moving somewhere locally, and I was just paying for rent, basically renting a room and a bathroom in a house. And that was fine and dandy, but I decided and I made the decision to go to University of Arizona because back then, University of Arizona gave me the most scholarship money. They gave me a lot of grant money. And so it just made the most sense for me because California colleges are really expensive, even if you're an in-state resident. So back then I made the decision just based off the monetary element, and I said, Arizona is a great place. It's kind of like California, just a little bit hotter. And so I made that decision. Well, when I came to Arizona, I took out one really large loan for $15,000, and I had a teacher from my childhood co-sign that loan with me. So him and his wife co-signed a loan with me, which is just so incredible and just an insane story because people nowadays don't even want to co-sign for their children, let alone for someone that is not bound to them by any kind of blood. So my professor was amazing. He was awesome. And anyway, so they decided to make that leap with me. And so I had to start paying it back off right away because it was a private loan. And private loans are awful, okay? And over time, what had happened is the scholarship money that I was getting was always delayed. All the money had to go through 7 different people. By the time I actually got the check, I was already months behind on payments for everything. My rent was late. I had to push back utilities, which then added more fees. And it was just not a good time. Not to mention that I was also spending money. I was still eating out because I didn't know how to cook a single thing. So I was eating out and I was just doing like going out with my friends and going bowling and not saving any money at all. So this ended up coming to bite me in the butt. I want to say when I was 19, and I just remember I didn't have any money in my checking account, none to my name. I had just gotten off my shift at work. I'd gotten some food because I did work. If anybody here is from U of A, I worked at Highland Market, which is where all the epic burritos were made at 2, 3 in the morning. So I had just gotten off the shift. I'd gotten a burrito, and that was basically my food for the day because I had no money and I wasn't getting paid for another 2 days. So things were really rough, okay? And my biggest problem during that time period is pretending like things were not rough. And what I did is I opened up a Victoria's Secret gift card, or credit card, not a gift card. I opened up a Macy's credit card. I opened up just a regular like MasterCard, just all of these different credit cards. And then what I was doing was basically spending. I would still go out to eat and spend 20 bucks on lunch and put it on the credit card. And eventually, with me having no money coming in and me already being delayed on fees, I was not only spending more than I was making, I was also spending more than I was ever going to make, if that even makes sense. And so I think this is a really big problem because you don't really see the consequences, especially when you're young, which is really the most pivotal part of your credit journey. But I ended up having a lot of debt collectors reaching out to me. All my credit cards were completely booked. I mean, they were full. If I had a limit of $1,000, I had maxed that card out. There was $1,002 on it, you know? And this was horrible for my credit. And I had a lot of different things happening at that time where I would just forget to pay a bill. Even if I had $20 to make the minimum payment, I just completely forgot, because between going to school, having 2 jobs, whatever social life I was trying to keep up with, all of that just got in the way, and it was just really stressful to make those payments. So I really ruined my credit back then. I maxed out all those cards, and then it was such a pain in the ass to actually close them out. So over time, I just kept taking a hit after hit after hit after hit to my credit. And I don't remember the lowest I went with my credit, but I'm pretty sure I got somewhere in the 300, 400 range, which is really terrible. Just terrible, absolutely awful. And digging yourself out of a hole like that is so hard, okay? It takes a lot of credit lines, it takes a lot of payments and a lot of years to fix it. Now, the benefit of a company like Lexington Law is that they know the tips and tricks, they know how to get you back on track. They can help you either fight or negotiate with some of the things that you have lined up against you. So for instance, let's say that I missed a payment at some point, and it was just a simple like, oops, I forgot, nobody reminded me, you know, I didn't have an automatic payment coming out for whatever reason. There's some credit cards and bills that you actually can't do automatic payment. You have to like manually do it because it changes every month. So some of your utilities, for example. So what they'll help you do is really plan and strategize on how to fix these elements, and then also fight on your behalf. So if there's something that was, let's say, unfair, I'm gonna use the word unfair, but lots of things in life are unfair. But let's say that somebody made an unfair claim against you, Lexington Law will actually help you either fight or correct that claim against you, depending on the situation. Of course, every situation is different. Sometimes you really don't have an excuse. Sometimes you can say, you know, I was in the hospital getting surgery or something, and this is why I missed all these bills. Therefore, you can go back and make these claims and state that this should be taken off your credit history, because it is so hard to fix that. And I learned this very quickly when I missed one of my private loan payments that my professor and I keep calling him a professor. He was my teacher in grade school and then in middle school. So he wasn't a professor, he was my teacher. But I remember he called me, him and his wife were just livid. They said, you know, we took a big risk, you should have paid that bill. And, you know, they said in the future, if you can't pay that bill, let us know, because we don't want our credit to be hurt too. Because when someone co-signs with you and you're not making the payments, it's gonna look bad on them too. You're basically representing somebody else, which is why people don't even want to co-sign for their children these days, because you don't want to ruin your credit when you've mortgaged a house, you've mortgaged a car, like you've got all these finances and these credit cards, and if somebody's ruining your credit, it's going to ruin your credibility, literally. So it's one of those tough things when people decide to co-sign. It's not as easy as it seems, and there's a lot of risk to it too, is what I should say. But anyway, I mean, everything there worked out for me in the end because I got on track with my credit, and I realized that I just couldn't spend the way that I was spending. If I didn't have the funds, I wasn't going out. If I didn't have the money to eat out and make lunch, I was gonna get a cup of noodles. And that was the reality. And I learned that after about 2 years of just groveling. And I remember just embarrassing situations, even asking friends for money and, you know, doing the I owe you. And it's just not a good thing. It's not a good habit to create. It's not a good experience for anybody. It's not a good experience for your friends. It's not a good experience for your family. So it's just better not to get yourself in that situation. And I think if you are in the situation and if you have had issues with your credit, this is really where I do feel strongly and very strongly that Lexington Law can help you guys. And as you already know, I only work with brands and build partnerships with those that I actually believe in. And after seeing their statistics and how many people they've helped and the percentage of wins they have, it is very clear to me that if you are having any sort of credit issue and credit repair is on top of your mind, which it should be for everybody if your credit is low, they are the perfect fit for you. There's several different plans you can sign up for depending on what kind of help you need. I'm gonna make sure to have a link down in my description box that can lead you over to them so you guys can check out the options, see if there is something that works for you, because honestly, I wish that they had been around and they had been my solution when I was going through all of this about 10 years ago, which is kind of crazy. It's been 10 years, ooh. And I think my problem too was that I didn't realize I needed the help. So it's not even that, even if I had known about them, I probably still wouldn't have done it because I didn't understand my credit score and how that helps with getting your credit card and any financing, and you need to have a good credit history. This affects everything in life, everything, especially when you're wanting to make a decision of any kind and finances are always involved. So the most important thing you can do is fix your credit and help save your future self from being extremely disappointed and just bummed and going through hoopla after hoopla because you are trying to basically prove yourself and the fact that you will pay your mortgage and that you will pay off the car and that you will make XYZ payments, because it's hard for people to trust you when your credit history is terrible. So working on that credit score and having Lexington Law help you make those decisions and fix those is really the ideal way to go about this. So that's what I wanted to tell you about my credit story. Now, as we're going into Black Friday and Cyber Monday, I have two big things to say here. The first one is I used to be the person who just bought everything in sight during this time period because I said it was on sale, I'm saving money and I'm gonna use it and it's gonna be amazing, but I also save money. And yes, it's on discount, but do not buy things you do not need just because they're on sale. This is really where I can help you budget and kind of keep in mind that you do not need a lot of these things. Just because they're 50% off does not mean you need it, okay? I know it's hard. It's hard to get that kind of concept through your mind, but you do not need something just because it's on sale. Look through your list of things that you've talked about this year and things that you've said, you know, I really wish I had this. I really wish I had this. You know, maybe it was a new laptop. Maybe it was AirPods. Maybe it was whatever. Look through the things that you know you've mentioned and you've said, I really wish I had a TV that did this, or I really wish I gotten myself a coffee machine, or I really wish I'd gotten myself some kind of water filtration system, or I really needed some new running shoes. Those types of things that you know in your mind you've said you need and you clearly would use, yes, look for the sale, find the sale, get the thing that you're actually gonna use because you are saving money and you're gonna use that thing, you've thought about it, make the purchase. Do not get things that are not even on your list, okay? There's just so many things that people decide to buy that they see a discount or a sale for, and it's just, it's a rush to the races to try to get this item, but you don't really need it. So I do think you need to be mindful and thoughtful, and this is how you end up, not anything related to your credit necessarily, but this is how you end up saving some money in the long run so you're not spending on things that you don't really need. The other thing I wanted to mention is, again, the list of things that you've had all year. This is what Aaron and I are doing. We've created this long, extensive list of things that we've mentioned we need, like air filters, and I need new running shoes, and he needs, what did he say? He needed like, or he didn't need, he wants a gaming laptop, and he wants this, and I want this, and it's breaking apart that list and saying, okay, we want these things, we need these things, let's look for the needs first, and then if we see the wants, and we've thought about the wants for a long time, we can decide, is this price point a good enough price point for us. But you really need to budget and you need to put these things into consideration because you don't want to end up with all of these maxed out credit cards and having to fix your credit. So keep that in mind as we approach these sales. They've already started and my mind is blown. There's so many things on sale, just so many amazing items, and I have to really stay away and keep myself away from them because there's just so many things that you can spend your money on, but it's just not worth it. And I'm definitely one of those people where I will spend money when I feel something is valuable, but I don't really need all of these things that are discounted unless I'm actually going to use them. Yes, a discounted scrunchie is really cute, but how often do I actually use scrunchies? I'm usually using like the really thin ones to put my hair up to work out. So it's just being thoughtful and kind of conscious of these purchases that you're making, just so you're not making them because things are on sale. Okay, so that is it for me today. I wanted to share that credit history that I have. I will link my blog post sharing more details about that down below as well. I'm going to also link you to Lexington Law. I wanted to share all of their amazing capabilities and how they can help you fix your credit. And I also shared a little tidbit of information about Black Friday and Cyber Monday as we approach those crazy, crazy deals happening. If you guys have any questions at all, leave them down in the comments below. I will be responding to all the comments because I love talking finances. The more I've learned over the years, the more I like talking about it. Because back in the days of, I remember my freshman year in econ, I didn't understand anything about finances. I didn't understand anything about the economy. And now that I have more of an understanding, it's really interesting to talk about. So let me know your thoughts down below and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.